Hey y'all, welcome to the Walking Dead After Show here on the stream.tv. I'm your host, Sue Castillo, and these are my cohorts, Timothy Michael and Michael Tiberi, and we are back with another great episode of The Walking Dead, which starts off with Abraham and Sasha.
You know what's funny is that everybody this whole week has been like making jokes about who is gonna hook up next.
Yeah.
And I love how this episode started off with like them in bed together, like pretty much.
Great.
You know, it's yeah, that's true. Because like the last episode when we left off, it was, you know, Michonne and Rick in bed, and Jesus is watching, literally, because by the end of the episode, Jesus is right there, like, hey, Rick. But I will give credit. He was making eye contact with Rick that whole time. And then we, instead of Michonne, because, yeah, she was naked. But then we start this next episode, and, yeah, like you said, people are speculating, like, who's next or whatever.
Right.
And so we start off with another Ebony and Ivory situation, which, I mean, I love the swirliness. I love diversity. I love
when a redhead gets
You love it when a ginger finds love?
Yeah, it's very romantic.
If
they're a dying breed.
You know every time you see a redhead, you wonder that.
I don't.
You do. I do. Do you?
No, not really. I just assume that's like, the case.
I
think.
Maybe I should assume more.
You know what?
We'll
maybe
continue this on
maybe you guys
Periscope
mention
later.
in the comments what you think if you wonder those things too. But you know, we see Sasha and Abraham, and they're getting along and they're joking and everything. But then Sasha's just like, so I just switched shifts. Telling you now, it was very awkward.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know, like,
Right,
what
like,
is this?
That
Right,
I
later.
hated. I don't know why that bothered me. Like, see you later.
It was more awkward when Abraham did it back.
I think it's like, you know, when teenagers like try to play it cool when the girl's like, oh yeah, I'm not really up for a second date, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
And that's what he was like.
He so was. He was just like, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
It was so tragic. I felt so bad.
But I love that it was kind of addressed that Sasha is going to go on a different route, and Eugene's going to take over her position patrolling with Abraham, because, like I brought up in last episode, there are rumors going around that Abraham is supposed to, you know, bite the bullet this season. I mean, we'll see how close they stick to that. But it'd be interesting knowing that, you know, Eugene would probably be the one to cause him to bite the bullet.
Ooh.
And then that could kind of
Also, that's
mix
your
things up with
projection.
Sasha. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I was starting to feel a little sad because, you know, Abraham, that had that whole awkward middle school moment of, like, Sasha, like, kind of liking him, but now she's switching, going on a different thing. And then I stopped feeling bad as soon as Abraham woke up to Rosita. Wait a minute. You got feelings for this other girl. You trying to set things up with her.
Yeah.
And you in bed with Rosita.
And she made him a necklace.
Yeah. She made him a necklace.
Made him a necklace.
And can we just talk about how glorious she was looking, all
she's
sweaty.
beautiful.
And then when she threw it his way.
Yeah.
Take this.
Yeah. I was like, God dang, go ahead, Rosita. But boy, I was mad at Abraham. He was like, girl, you so fine. Like, shut up,
But
Abraham.
he's like
everything.
a typical man, like in bed with another woman, thinking about another woman. I can't.
Ooh.
I can't.
The Walking Dead love
The
thing.
love triangle
Michael,
going on.
What did you call it?
Well, I can't say it on air, but the can someone bleep me real fast? Just kidding.
No, you can bleep yourself. You can be like,
dead.
Oh,
the F dead.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear
That was
that.
real
good.
successful.
Yeah, it's not as good when I try and reenact without swearing.
Well, you know, so now we're still on that train of the love train with The Walking Dead, and then we've got Jesus in the hallway and Carl, you know, catching him like, what are you doing in our house? And then he was like, well, I was just waiting on your mom and dad to get dressed. And I was just like, mom and dad to get dressed? Yeah. And boy, that door busted open, and Michonne and Rick came out, and Carl looked at...
And then Daryl and Glenn come up the stairs.
Yeah, it was a big like, come on.
It
Guess
was like
what's
Fuller
happening?
House, but like rated X.
Yeah.
Ooh, you want to...
Everybody was there.
How awkward is that? You haven't even left your house and you already doing the walk of shame. You know, like that tragic, and in front of mixed company.
Yeah, in front of your child. Walk of shame in front of your son.
In front of your one-eyed child.
Yeah.
You know, and then they have that.
Close your other eye, Carl.
Yeah, close the other way. He could block half of it out.
Yeah.
Just quarter turn Carl away.
Yeah,
Quarter turn
exactly.
away. But yeah, so they have that little business meeting, you know, with everybody, and And I mean, this is just me, but in that business meeting, we didn't see Carol and Morgan there.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you brought that up because they gave, I guess, Jesus a cookie, and he was like, "Oh, nice cookie. Where's the chef?" And then they were like, "Oh, she's not here." And I'm like, "Where is Carol? Like 2 episodes now. I miss Carol. I need a fix.
We need a Carol fix. We
I know.
Need her
I don't
to
care
make
about Morgan, but Carol
Yeah.
I care about.
But it is setting up for the next ones. But where Jesus is talking about, and then Jesus introduces the fact that there are more people. There's what does he say?
Other communities.
In other communities, but it was something that he said, and it was funny because I started seeing like the pictures of it all online, which was the exact words he used in the comic books. Of like
Oh, your
the
world's
world.
about to get a lot bigger.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So what did you feel about that? Like, how much of this episode so far is anything similar?
Oh no,
with
it's
the comics?
completely like the comics. Yeah, they're
it's really
they are
following through that
sticking
now.
pretty hardcore to the comics, which I'm loving.
Yeah.
I just know it's coming, you guys, and
Oh.
it makes
Something
me cringe, and I'm like, oh.
Crazy is coming.
Something crazy is coming.
Okay.
This seemed like a really chill episode, but something crazy.
I mean, obviously, it's going to have to.
like
It's going to
the-
have to
Yeah.
ramp up for the season
yeah.
finale,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's got to keep us wanting more. Speaking of wanting more, then we see Denise with Daryl, and I'm like, oh, Denise, are you going to try and ask for more stuff this time? For Tara or what? But she brought him this oat cake.
With her poorhouse Nature Valley bar.
Yeah.
Yo, when you hungry, you will eat
Here.
that thing.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of fiber.
But I loved seeing Denise and Daryl dynamic again. Remember,
Yeah.
like I said, with how awkward she kind of was and stumbling around. But then she made mention, he kind of reminds her of somebody, and I just kind of felt like maybe it was like her brother or something.
Yeah.
No, it felt like kind of endearing. You were kind of like, oh, okay, like this is nice.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
maybe a baby brother or something like that she had looked out for or something. And I hope we eventually find out who this person is that she's referring to that Daryl reminds her of. But I thought it was sweet because they had that little tit for tat about, he was like, well, this looks like crap. And she was just like, it's better than roadkill and rabies
Yeah.
and stuff. I was like, ooh, girl, get him, get him, get him. She's a doctor, listen. And then we've got, the talk
Oh,
between
that awkward talk.
Carl
That
and
awkward
Rick.
talk.
Oh!
Kind of my favorite moment though, as well. Like,
It would be.
because
It totally
was
would
just
be
like
your favorite
so
moment.
uncomfortable, and it was just like so. It was so weird to me that I was like, "This is amazing," because
Yeah.
it was like I was waiting for Carl to almost just be like, "Give it here, buddy." Like,
Yeah,
fist
yeah.
bump
I thought
me.
he was gonna be like the darker the berry or something like that. I was something. I thought he was. I'm with you on that.
I was just
so
like
awkward.
I was waiting for like, "Yo, dog, you smashed." like it was getting. It just felt so weird.
You know what I mean? Or he was just, I'm next. Like, just like it's me. No, not on Michonne. I mean,
Oh,
like,
I was like, oh.
Enid or something. Like
Yeah.
he was going to find love
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, come
I
on,
know.
y'all. That's disgusting.
I
He's a
mean, you have to
child.
admit it was weird.
It was very weird
weird.
because it was just, he looked kind of pissed at first, but he does have the one eye. So and that hair. But the fact that he was like, nah, I'm okay with it. And
Yeah.
I liked that they addressed that kind of stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
About that, because I think that's really important. The fact that Carl lost his mother, and then of course Carl kind of knew Rick was vibing Jesse. Jesse died like how many months ago? He's not giving up. He's still trying. And I think that that's important because I think, if it wasn't the end of the world, it could be different circumstances. Like I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
Storms
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But I like that
Yeah.
Rick just that kiss of death, Lord. And then we've got so then everybody decides that they're going to go meet the group that Jesus was talking about, because he said that they trade with other groups and stuff like that. So they go, and then in the Winnebago,
That reminded me of Dale.
Family
Yes!
vacation.
Dale.
everybody loaded up in the Winnie again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Dale, and then I was like, yo, nothing good's gonna come of this. Every time they've been in a Winnebago, it has not been good.
Isn't that everyone's experience though? Like no time in a
That's
Winnebago is
true.
great
That's
with a
true.
bunch
I
of
get-
people.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'm lucky. I've never been in a Winnebago, so I guess I lucked out. But you got Abraham. Well, I don't want to be in one in conversations about Bisquick and pancakes, babies.
That's so
The whole episode was
was
like
so awkward. It
super
was
sexually
so
charged
awkward.
and very right. Like
What? What was it? was it you that was talking about like whoever compares that bodily fluid to Bisquick should just be fired? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's just that was you. Yeah, that was yeah. Well, guess what? I ain't never having Bisquick.
Yeah, and I love pancakes. They're delicious.
Well, not anymore. You gonna be Team Waffles.
They're ruined.
Hashtag Team Waffles. But Abraham trying to have this, you know, non-literal conversation with Glenn about making a baby in a post-apocalyptic world and how he's just like, you know, no, you should have thought better or whatever. And you, I think, had said something.
I thought that
about
Abraham has a really great point. I mean, I was mad when Rick and Lori started having a baby. It's not because I don't like kids. I
thought you were going to say because they age.
I don't like kids. But, I mean, it's just, I think it's kind of unfair. It's like drug addicts having a child. Like, it's just unfair to the child to bring it into this kind of world that is not going to be suitable for them. You know what I mean?
Interesting perspective.
I just don't agree with that. I mean, yeah, there's not even like in this world, but without doctors and you obviously, I mean, obviously they were lucky enough to find an obstetrician, which you're going to talk about.
That was
But it's like,
lucky.
there's so many things that can go wrong just in childbirth alone. To Maggie, essentially.
Yeah.
And I mean, look what happened to Lori. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm just saying,
there's
it's just
not
not
very
fair.
many resources.
There isn't. But then also
No
I would think
iPads.
back to like, you know, what did women do before, you know, we had all that? You know, they
Died in child labor.
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, that's why they had them young. That was the rule. See, Maggie's young enough to have that baby. Lori wasn't. That's why it was trouble. But you never know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But yeah, so they were talking about that, and I like that you pointed that out. That you know, you kind of felt the way Abraham felt. Me, I kind of did too, because I was like, ugh, baby gonna wah wah wah, and all the walkers are gonna come out, and that's an issue. But the fact that they live in
Baby's gonna cry. They might as well just got an air horn. Just blow that. And be like, here we are.
Oh my God, like that previous episode, like who's blowing that horn? Yeah, but I feel like because they're in Alexandria and they have those walls and everything, you know what I mean? It's like a baby crying somewhere in that, I think then that'd be fine. But now that there's that threat of Negan, you know, which we'll get to later on. But then we've got the fact that they see this car wreck and now they got to now they gotta go on an Easter egg hunt finding these people from
People.
they were like, dude was behind a chair and he was like, boop, I found you, and then two people over in like near a closet just
which by the
we're
way, did
here.
you ever play hide and seek? Like these were the worst.
Terrible people. I was like, I saw you from the next room.
Behind this plant.
What about the walkers? The walkers just like if you were hiding and they were just like like come on.
That was
like,
great Walker acting. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was Oscar worthy.
might be an
Speaking of the Oscars, hashtag Oscars so white.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. So it was just, they did that, and I was just, I think, who was it? You that were saying like we're just gonna leave Maggie outside with Jesus, not knowing if we trust him
I
or
mean,
not? Or
what is Glenn thinking? Like, you can't you don't even know this guy. Like, you were about to shoot him 2 seconds ago, and now you're leaving your pregnant like wife alone with him.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
I feel like this episode there were so many like moments where there was like little like oversights like that I was like, you know good and well that would have never happened. Walking Dead, like season 1 or season 2. Come on.
No.
They go in, they find these people, and Abraham snaps. Like he finds this dude and he's choking him, and he got a knife, but he stops himself, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy on the I almost said bus. The Winnebago starts talking, and he was like, you know, when that guy had his hands on me, I saw, like, he was like his whole world, like his whole life kind of flashed before his eyes.
Right.
And instead of it was his life, he said he saw his wife's face. And so I was just like, okay, great share, Greg. I don't know if that's his name, but Freddie.
Yeah.
Okay, great share, Freddie. But it was just very random. But then, you know, we get that to tie back into later. And then, so we get that tied back into later, and then Abraham just sitting there and listening to it. Like, all I was thinking, I mean, before we go to our commercial break, I was just thinking, how freaking awkward is that to be in the same vehicle while the dude you put your hands on is steady talking shit about you right while you're sitting there? Like, that guy had his hands on me, like.
Okay.
He's like, yeah. all right, I did. What do you got to say about
I don't
it?
think he was looking at it like that. I think he was thinking of like the guy was saying. I was thinking of his wife, and I think that Abraham was like, "That's what I want. I want to kind of think of when somebody's about to kill me. Who would I think of?" I think that was his inner dilemma while he was sitting there. Not, bitch, why you talking shit?
No, but it was almost kind of like he was sitting there and he's just, I mean, it's not like, you know, he was just like, hey man, you know, that dude. Like, it wasn't like somebody was whispering like, that dude, that one, he put his hands on me. And I was scared, man, and I saw my wife's face, and it wasn't like that. He was like, hey, like he had his feet posted up. He was comfy, you know, steady talking, but you were right. Talking about that, you're thinking, in that kind of situation, who are you thinking about, especially when you're in this kind of tug of war on who you want to be with, and the only person who knows is Sasha and you, not even Rosita? How unfair is that?
Right.
Trifling. So anyways, so we're going to take a commercial break on that trifling note. Let us know in the comments below, what do you guys think so far about the whole Abraham, Sasha, Rosita triangle situation? And we will be back, so stay tuned. Use the hashtag TWDAS, and we will be right back.
What's this peace sign that they did?
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Oh, you'd want to take the time travel the whole way back.
How did we not figure that out?
We had a crazy vampire threesome, and you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like,
How did you get here?
No. Look at me, I'm dancing.
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
he was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
And we're like, inseparable. She was shadier than Sunglass Hut with Ray-Bans on sale, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it wasn't. So come on.
You just went to a totally different direction on that.
When a billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
Oh man, looking forward to this fight.
Ooh, they about to get together. Watch, it's about to go down.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
He just slapped the crap out of Nick.
And he's just like that.
It's all good.
You can't count anything out. Look at you. It's been another awesome night at the Stream.TV, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys. We love you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Walking Dead After Show here on the Stream.TV. So when we left off, we just made our way to the Hilltop.
Yes.
So that's the name
Of the community, of Jesus' community. In the comics, like I said, I'm really glad that they're sticking to the comics. But I mean, it looks really good. Like, it looks pretty legit. Like, they did a really great job on the set and everything like that.
to
But
make it look like from the comic books?
Yeah. But I mean, I was just thinking, I was like, would we prefer to live there or Alexandria? And I don't know. I like Alexandria a little bit better. I mean, you don't have to live in a trailer. You get your own house. Like, we might not have food, but
I'm still
Yeah.
feeling Alexandria, I think, over
Yeah.
this plantation.
Team Alexandria.
Team
I'd
Alexandria.
rather live in Alexandria than I would on the Hilltop community. Several reasons. One, they have FEMA campers. We all know how that went down in
Yep.
Katrina. Second of all, it's on a plantation.
It
Really not
is.
feeling that vibe. I know where I would be stuck, outside. So
I like to change my answer. I'm just kidding. I'd still say Alexandria.
yeah, and y'all got spears, you know. So I'm just like, no, okay. I do not want to live someplace where all of a sudden I get teleported to Far Cry Primal.
right. And now instead of a porch dick, we got a plantation dick, and his name is Gregory.
Ooh, Gregory is.
So shitty.
He is a mess.
He is worsome.
Yeah.
He is worsome. When he's talking to the group, when we finally meet this Gregory, you talked about him. We walk into the house. I was like, yes, show him. This dude walks out, and what did he say? He said, "Y'all get cleaned up." Excuse me. the look on Rick's face, like, nah, we good.
You know
and
what?
then Gregory stepped in his face. I was very worried for
You know,
Gregory.
I kind of want to just bring this whole like this topic up of Terminus. Like, can we talk about how like nerve-wracking this must be for this group? Like going into another community and then this guy being like, "Oh, go clean up." Like, I'm sure their nerves are shot. I'm sure they're all on edge. Like, if we go upstairs, are there gonna be people ready to like slice our throats in a bathtub? Like, what? Like, I would be just, I would be so scared.
I feel, you know what I feel like though? I feel like in comparison to how, like, cause when, I mean, let's fast forward just a little bit when, you know, this dude runs up into the house and Gregory's like, "Oh, what's the trouble?" I'm like, how did you know when he walked in? Dude didn't even say shit yet. You know what I mean? Stuff yet. And they go outside and we got Tweedledum, Tweedledee, and old lumbersexual man bun walking up, talking about
Wrong neighborhood with the man bun.
Yeah.
What is
needs to be in the hipster? Yeah.
Oh my God. And that whole situation, and I mean how it went down. I mean, you look at how the Hilltop community was responding to seeing Rick and Rick's group holding down that situation. I mean, let's just go ahead and dive into that.
Yeah, but then
Man Bun stabbed Gregory.
After he brought up Negan's group, which I was kind of excited about because they finally brought that back up.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was like a message from Negan, and then it comes out that they killed some of their people in this deal that was supposed to be made, and they have their friend Greg and stuff like that. So, I mean, that just...
Yeah, his brother.
His brother,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, his brother.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And then Rick, he tussled.
Start fighting with him.
Yo, he tussled with Man Bun, and then Man Bun had the knife to his throat. I was like, what is happening? And then, what? I mean, someone please tell me, because I missed it. How did he bleed out from his neck? Because Man Bun had that knife to Rick's throat. You know what I mean?
I think Rick had pulled his knife out and just gone quick like that.
I agree.
Well, he went so quick.
It happened so fast, and then there was so much blood that I was like, wait, I even was like, what just happened right now?
Yeah, I'll have to rewind it and watch, because boy, Rick was so quick like ninja.
Watch it
his
before
hand,
you go to bed. It's a nice bedtime story.
Yeah, and then they're all upset that this guy died after he tried to attack the leader of this group. And then that girl came out of nowhere and punched Rick. And Michonne was like, what?
I'm gonna have to step in here.
Like,
yes.
Like, not
okay,
today.
let's get in formation.
Not today.
She punked her, dude. She not only
today.
told her to lay down in the dirt, she looked down at her like, no, precious. But I also loved how Rick got up after he killed old Man Bun and like looked at this dude and was like, what? I was like, yes!
Yeah, I loved it.
And Daryl, when that guy was on top of Abraham and choking him out, right?
Yeah.
Daryl just came up in there, snapped that dude's arm back.
That was another moment where I was like,
It was absolutely disgusting, but then they cart Gregory away.
Yeah.
And,
But I mean, it's kind of good that happened, because then, you know, fast forward a little bit, they send, you know, they find out more about Negan, and you know, Negan's group, the Saviors, has been, you know, kind of harassing like all of these other groups and taking half of their supplies.
big old bullies.
Yeah, and it's like they won't stand up for themselves because they don't like confrontation. Flashback to old Alexandria.
Ooh.
And then it's kind of good that this happened to Gregory, because he kind of puts it into realization that, okay, maybe you guys could help us. And then Rick says, you know, we're good with confrontation, so let us take care of this problem for you. Get Greg or Craig, and then you'll give us, you know, what did Daryl say?
Oh yeah, the cow. The cow. He had his eye, as soon as the gate opened, he saw a cow walking by, and he was like, that.
we'll take that.
I want
Eeny, meeny,
Bessie.
miny, all of it.
Yes, I loved that. I loved the way that they were talking, but they weren't even talking to Gregory yet. They were talking to Jesus, and that made me wonder, in the comic books, is Jesus not the leader, or does he, at one point, he became the leader of the Hilltop group in the comics?
No, Jesus is like kind of like his right-hand man. Jesus goes out and he like he was kind of like Aaron and Daryl for Alexandria. He goes out and tries to get other communities to kind of trade so that they could have supplies to give to Negan, otherwise they'll die. So Jesus is like Gregory's like right-hand man.
I know, but even when he was talking about, like, I get it, Gregory can kind of be a dick. but you know, people like him, and he's our leader. I mean, he wouldn't be the type of leader that I would have picked, but people like him and feel safe. And I'm like, why? Who was the other candidate?
Right, yeah.
Who was
Donald
it?
Trump?
Man Bun?
Yes.
If it was Man Bun, I don't know. He looked like he would have gotten more things done, but
Right.
still, I do love how Daryl, when they were having that come to Jesus meeting, and they were talking and negotiating about what they'll take care of the situation. They were like, you give us this, we'll handle it. We have no problems with confrontation, and I love that. I love how they're stepping out. And by the end of it, Maggie gets that agreement with Gregory. Boy, I kind of loved that Maggie was the one talking to him. And I love that by the end of it, she was just like, you know what, I'm done with your bullshit. And just was like, you gonna give us half of everything. And now, and he did. I was like, go ahead, Maggie. And then she said, and something else. Go ahead, girl, get your food on. And then she asked for something else. We see the sonogram with the obstetrician. And so they finally have I thought that was a sweet callback with the fact that Maggie and Glenn had found a camera and they had taken a picture, and she took a picture of Glenn and he had burned it, saying that she wouldn't need it. And so it was nice that both of them could have this sonogram picture of their coming
But
child.
you know, at the same time, it's a nice moment. But I feel like The Walking Dead is just, it's so good at like building up this hope of, oh, there's a baby, and then they're so good at just ripping it away.
I was gonna say something bad is
You know
coming.
what?
Something
Oh,
bad
it
this
is.
way comes.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's been too much like good almost.
Yeah, because
you know?
Maggie also made the comment. She says, it's gonna cost us something. And I was just like, ooh, I know what's gonna happen, and I don't want it to happen. But I feel like Glenn, the season finale, Glenn is going to be the one that dies. She will have that sonogram of the baby, and that's what's going to be the cost. It's going to be a choice between Maggie, maybe Maggie's unborn, or Glenn. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's my
They're
prediction.
putting some sort of choice. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of choice in that regard, because she's the one who's saying it, you know.
Yeah.
And then I also, you know, let's go back to it where we first see Glenn and Maggie talking about, you know, she's planting these things, and this is their first real conversation we see them having with one another since being reunited, and they talking about plants. But I love the fact that he's telling her, like, it'll grow, but he's talking about the baby just as much as the food. So we're going to jump right into our fan questions real quick, and we have a question from our friends over at Undead Walking, and the question comes from Luke Handysides on Facebook. And Luke asks, are there any other blossoming romances you'd like to see on the show? I'm curious to see who you guys want to see, either hook up or start a long-term romance. Could be a fun thing like Rashon.
You know, they touched up on, you know, Carol and Daryl having that thing, which I was all about, Carol and Daryl getting together, but then that never happened. I don't know why the writers didn't go forward with that, but they had like that kind of like, that chemistry or that little flirtiness going on, and then it just stopped. But I would like to see them get back to it.
I don't know about that. What about you, Michael?
I just want my immediate reaction is like no one, because nothing good comes from love in The Walking Dead. Like,
you're like,
when I think in
I thought
my
you were gonna
head,
say life.
Yeah, and life too. But my immediate thing was like nobody should be getting into a relationship because something bad always ultimately happens to one of the partners. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to see where this Rick and Michonne thing goes, but as far as like new romances, I don't know. I don't know.
I want to see two. I want to see between Rosita and Spencer.
That would be a good-looking couple.
Whoa. Or Rosita and Jesus.
I'm feeling different about that.
I don't know. I mean, my thing is like I want to see Rosita with somebody.
I feel
other
like
than Abraham.
you are saying the way you're responding
Yeah, you know
is
something.
leading
I'm not
me to
saying
think that you
anything
know
about
something.
Rosita and Jesus at all.
No, but you had like a look where like it was like a we'll see. Like.
Yeah. And then did you have another question?
Yeah, we have a question from, hold on a second, sorry. From Janine Davis, who says, do you guys believe Abraham made his choice at the end of this episode, i.e. when he heard Sasha's voice, you know, when the guy was choking him out?
Yes, I think Janine has a really great point because I completely agree with her. I think that he did make that choice to go with Sasha. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad that they wrapped that up because they kind of opened the episode with Sasha and Abraham and him having this kind of battle between, do I pick Rosita or do I pick Sasha? And then at the end, he hears Sasha's voice.
I think so in that moment too. 100%.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
being choked out. Death is near. Whose voice does he hear? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then when seeing the ultrasound, he thinking about making a Sasha baby.
Yeah.
So, and then
You
we
got a
also
little-
want to shout out some of our fans that you guys have definitely been loyal. You've been commenting. You've been letting us know your thoughts. And, I'm so sorry that some of you, because we move times, you miss one of our episodes or two of our episodes. So we apologize for that. But so we want to do a shout out to Simon Cerna. Thank you so much, Simon, for your comments, your feedback, and just letting us know, you know what? We okay. And we've got, let's see, who else? We've got Jonathan Gillis. Thank you, Jonathan, for your constant support. It's really making our heads very big. Too big for our bodies. And Charlu611. Thank you so much, Char. Your conversations, your questions and everything, we love it. We love you. And Papa Loin Paradise, we are glad to see you come back on our comment sections and everything like that. So,
and then everybody in our live YouTube chat right now,
Yes.
Carly Ann and Farquhar and everybody that's joining us right now. Thank you guys. It means the world to us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a show without you guys. So
and
we
we're
appreciate
going
it.
to, and then on that note, thank you so much for mentioning the people in the live chat because I had a brain fart. But yeah, so if you guys get in the comment section or even on Twitter, what we're going to do is we're going to start making this a part of the segment too and shouting out you guys. So we love you. Stay in the conversation. Use the hashtag TWDAS. Stay connected with us here on the stream.tv. Love you guys. We'll be back next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye. For more of the Walking Dead after show,
Click that button and
Subscribe to the stream.tv.